All right, how's it going, YouTube? So we want to bring you a recap of over the weekend races. I want to start off by saying shouts out to everybody who make it out. Congrats to the winners, and definitely was some tight racing. So let me give you a little recap of this car. So let me get under the hood. So to start off, at the beginning of the season, I was doing pretty good. I was struggling with the car pulling to the left. Right now, in the midst of finding that out, I had the same setup in here, and a few people seen that I was running a Pinky tune motor in Pinky, which is my RS4. So they said I should switch that motor over to this car, which I did. The next time out, I went to the line and got stuck. The car was cogging really, and I didn't know why. I figured I blew the R1 ESC. So then I got another R1, and it had no brakes. I tried another R1, had no brakes. Then I tried a third R1, which was pretty much, it was literally brand new. It had the stock wires on it and everything, and it was cogging. So, I couldn't figure it out. I was talking to Marco. Shouts out to Marco. Shouts out to Chris. I was talking back and forth to them, and Marco was saying it could be the receiver, but the receiver was doing good with any other thing. It was just cogging. It was steering, everything else. So kept digging around, talked to my wife. Well, my wife seen me a little bit frustrated at the car, so she asked me what was wrong, and I said what the car was doing. She said, "Did you try the receiver or the motor?" And then Marco even said at one point in time it could be the motor. So I actually changed the motor, and the car did exactly what it was supposed to do. It stopped cogging. It had brakes. So now I'm going to show you a picture of what happened to the motor. All right, now after seeing that, that is a screw stuck on the B and C terminal on the motor inside. So I couldn't see that. I'm not sure how that screw got in there. I don't know. So, but I've been fighting with that for months. The only thing I haven't changed was the motor. I've tried a new receiver. I've tried many ESCs. Only thing I didn't change was the motor. So that was a lack. So I wasn't able to attend or race in a lot of races. But we got that situated. So now we do our first pass. Car goes dead down. I think I spun and let off. I think I'm 2-0. So then I said, okay, we can work there. I went on 187, then on 181, and then we started going 166 and 161. But now what I'm noticing is my battery is tanking. As I put more power to it, the battery starts to tank. The Pinky 10,000. I was running this battery, I believe, the whole of last season, and it started off with it this season. So kept seeing, just to say, 6.4 on a 1.6 something run. That's kind of a hard hit. So Marco suggested that I change the battery. I didn't have another battery then, so he shouts out to Chris and Marco. He told Chris if I had a battery, if he had a battery, I could borrow, and Chris let me run this battery. Right, I was nervous about the weight bias being different because this is a 10 and this is an 8. So I felt the car would have needed change. But all I did was push the battery up, just how this one sat, and I sent it. And actually, with my battery, I think the fastest I went was a 166. With this battery, I think my first hit, if I'm not mistaken, I went 161. Right? After that, I started to turn. No, actually, I went 161 with this battery, and when I put this battery in with the same tune, I didn't even get down. It was like too much power. It's like I had to retune the car. So now, what happened now is when I went If you notice in the video, I went in the left lane. When I went down in the left lane with this battery turned down, the car still felt like it did a smooth pass, but it felt like it blew the tires off in the top end. And this happened right here. I don't know if the body hit or whatever, but it blew the tire. So now, with the change of the battery, and now the change is going to be with tires. So now I'm kind of nervous. 1 second. Sorry about that. So it's too much changes for me. So I'm changing in the remote. I changed the battery. Now I'm changing tires. So I'm all over the place pretty much. So I throw on some V2s. And I'm going straight into the first round with these V2s. And I don't know what they're going to do because I never ran the V2s before. So I set the car up, I turn it down, and I take off. The car spins about mid-track, and I blew a tire. Boom. Now these are the V2s. So we're down the good tires that I've been running, and now we're on these, which I haven't even tried. So now, sorry about that. So we're on the V2s, which I haven't even tried yet. So that's when these blew. So I didn't know. Now I'm fighting for tires because I'm buying back in to go into the second round. And I turned to some goals I had that was pretty much almost like these. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try these out. I tried these tires out. I'm going right into the second round. I had to pick the car back up. I turned the tires, and literally when I took off, the car spun. So when I brought the car back to me, I could see like a patch of baldness on the tire. So I knew it kind of like all the prep came off the tire. Plus I was trying a new prep that day. I'm used to running OG. I was running Get Paid. I usually run, I tried Unicorn Piss, but I didn't really like it. It was like a little bit too sticky for me compared to OG is what I'm used to running. So I went to Get Paid, and it worked. It took me down my first pass or second pass, and from there we just kept progressing. So now I'm going out with the goals. I believe these is double stuff if I'm not mistaken, but I believe they're even firmer than these. So these are reds, Voodoos. So we get down, we take off from the line, strip the patch off over here. So now we're struggling, we're on a struggle bus, we done lost a round. So now I said, you know what, let me test and get down from there. So we start testing with these tires, you know, during the rounds, and we was making it down, but I was still struggling a bit. The car still had more power than what I was expecting, because with the IR, with this battery, when I hit 100%, I was still at 7.1. So I still had plenty more power to give the car, compared to this battery dropping to 6.4 when I hit 100. So right now, what I really need to do is take some time and retune the car with this battery now. Because just to say, if I was using a faster ramp, I might not need it because the power is there now with this battery. You know, I'm just example. But I also need some new tires. I got a hole in this front tire, and I still was running it that whole day. I had no other I had a bunch of other tires, but they wasn't ready. Like I had one that needed to be sanded down, and I had another one, but I don't think it was a match. So I didn't want to mess with anything on the car. The car was going dead straight, so I just kept tuning it with the battery, but was struggling to find the tune. So what I'm going to do is probably one Sunday I'm going to go out and I'm going to test with this battery, get some tires. I have some more tires as well that I can try out when I'm testing, just to get the car situated. I haven't done it in a while. The last race I was in, I believe, was April. If not, it was May. So, you know, I was on a struggle bus. So anyway, yeah, that's the recap of this. And I'm going to get Pinky out, show y'all a quick update of that, and then go from there. Also, this same setup is in my backup car. I was supposed to test it that day as well, but once I seen this car go good, I just stuck with this car. and went from there. So hopefully when I do get out, I get to test the backup car as well to make sure that's good, and we'll go from there. So let me get the RS4 out, and y'all stay tuned. All right, YouTube, this is Pinky. So what I did a lot of changes. So you see me testing this car a lot. I had it set, stable, everything. The day before the race, you know, I use this for bracket. The day before the race, I changed the ESC and put an R1 in here. The R1 it was like too many changes for me to go into the race thinking I was going to be consistent. So I put this ESC back in here, the Castle Mama Monster 8S, but I changed the motor. The DRK motor that was in here, I put back in my SE, and I put that motor that the screw was in back in here because it was running on a Castle system. It won't run on the R1, but it'll run on a Castle system. This is a Volta. So now what happened day of the race is my first hit that day, I noticed the car had a little cog, and that might be from the motor. So that's what we got to work on with this car. I didn't have enough time to test it that day. So the first two hits that I did with this car, it ran a 223 and a 224, but it had a little cog off the line, like a little hesitation before it left. So I didn't know if that was my point or not. I left it the same. I dialed in at a 223 first round in bracket, and the car went 220. So I broke out. So now I think what happened is the car didn't have that little hesitation off the line and just left, right? I bought back in second round. I left the tune the same. I dialed in at a 220 and ran a 223. So I kind of messed the car up, and I'm not sure if it's with the motor. So what I need to do is also test with this car again to make sure that it's consistent if I plan on using it for bracket. So that was my fault for bracket anyway. Now, as far as we have a new class coming out, it's called, shout out to E. Taman Harden. I see they run this track in Virginia, Maryland, down south, North Carolina, stuff like that. But it's called E-Slide. So pretty much, it's a 10 scale all-wheel drive touring car with rubber tires, and it's gonna be a Leopard, or I believe it's a Hobbywing ESC. So that's just something very cheap. Just to say, if you can get a roller, a 10 scale roller, right? It should be about depending on what you go with. That's what would vary. Maybe 120, 170. The ESCs and motor is a combo. They're 60, 70 bucks for either one you choose, Leopard or the Hobbywing one, I believe it is. I'm not sure. I do have the post on the New England Drag Racing site. So you can use a gyro. You can use any remote you want. There's no prep. I'll post the rules in the New England Drag chat. If you're in there and interested, you could take a look. So pretty much you're just going to be using, just to say, a 10 scale with that system, a 2S battery. I believe it's a stick pack only, if I'm not mistaken. So, and that's pretty much it. That's going to be a whole nother class. But I would say if you already have a remote, you can be in that class for $250, $300, depending on what route you go. It can go up to $600, $700 because they do sell rollers that are $400, $500. So it all depends on you, but to start off, $200, $300 can get you in the class, and it should be fun and competitive. They have about 80 to 90 people that's in this class right now down south because it's an affordable class, so it's easy to get into. So we'll definitely keep pushing that. So I plan on keeping this the same, but I am probably, more than likely, I'm going to buy a roller RS4 and set that up. I know the ins and outs of this car, so I can make it work. So that's my plan anyway, and that's my recap. Sorry for the long video. Also, what I might be using, I'm still waiting on the part for this, is what I'm thinking about, is this for the E-Slide class. All carbon fiber. It's a Pro 4, HPI Pro 4. So I was thinking about that, but it has plastic internals in the diff, and I don't want to keep stripping stuff out. So we'll see. We'll go with this. If we can find some upgraded gears for that, we might go with that. So all right, YouTube, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more.